Hello, everybody, and welcome to Silent Podcast, the place where everything but silent. I'm your host, Isaiah, and I am here for the final time for season 3 of Temptation Island with my two co-hosts, Geneva,
Hello, hello.
Sasha,
Hi.
and we brought Josie in again.
Thanks for having me.
And we're here to talk about the finale, part 2 of Temptation Island. Abby could not be here, but we had a conversation beforehand and she had a lot of thoughts, so I'll tell you guys how she felt towards the end of it. But yeah, before we get into specifics, what is everyone's initial thoughts of the ending of Temptation Island, the part 2 of the finale and the reunion?
Boring. I think actually I take it back because the part during the break, or like the parts that we weren't supposed to see, seemed to be very juicy, like everyone popping off at each other. But the other stuff was kind of just meh. Like, I don't know. I can't believe it was 2 hours.
Yeah, it was just like, I think the finale itself was I was shocked with some decisions,
Yeah.
for sure, but it wasn't enough to like carry me. I think the reunion was just self-validation for myself, so I can say I told you so with certain things. Like, when I say you, I mean myself. Like, I was trying to convince myself out of certain things. But like at the end of the day, I'm like, okay, like I'm glad, but it's like I'm not shocked. But it was at least validation of how bad of people some of these people are, and I was okay with that. I feel great, like being satisfied with that portion of it. Geneva, Josie, how'd you guys feel about it?
For me, I mean, I think that there were some, not as exciting points, but I thought as a collective, like if you combine the 2 hours together, I thought it was pretty entertaining. I was live tweeting throughout it and felt pretty engaged with what was happening. So, I think probably the reunion had more substance in terms of things that we can talk about. But I think there were still some shocking things that took place. And some people who didn't provide entertainment during the season provided entertainment for me during the reunion. Yeah. So I did see some good things. I don't know necessarily. I'm not really sure even what episode of the season was the best episode of the season. But I would say it wasn't like the most boring episode. I think that we got stuff out of it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree. I think I was going to just touch on the fact that I think couples shined in the part 2, and then the other couples who didn't shine in part 2 shined in the reunion, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So it was I wish everyone would have shined equally, but you take what you can get.
Now, I was going to say, because my phone is blowing up, I'm like, what's going on? I'm literally getting a notification from USA app saying the Temptation finale is out. Watch it.
Oh, we knew.
But
don't say nope as if you didn't watch it, because you didn't watch it yesterday.
I have no aspirations to watch season 3 ever again. But it was cool though. It was. I'm gonna put my season ranking at the end of it. But it wasn't bad. It was. We'll get there. Anyway, so we go into this episode, and like we said, the reunion was pretty boring. So I mean, I don't see us spending a lot of time here because hypothetically, this is
the finale.
Yeah, because I mean, this is like 2 episodes, honestly, like 2 hours we have to talk about, but we're going to try to squish it into 1 hour. But we have the ending of it's the guy I hate and Erica,
Kendall and Erica.
I know, just kidding. Kendall and Erica.
I was like, you forgot him already?
I don't feel like talking about Kendall anymore. He's just because we finally get the decision, and honestly, I forget who said it initially, but I wish we got Kendall's.
Me. I tweeted it.
There you go. I wish we got Kendall's decision first, and then get Erica's, because I think Kendall actually would have taken Erica, honestly, if he had to say it first, and then we really got robbed that like she just owns you moment,
Yeah. I want to address that. So I think we kind of saw over the course of the season, we saw a lot of Kendall's confidence, and he was talking about like, oh, well, Erica's going to take me back. Like, it doesn't matter what I do. I'm single while I'm here, but I'm going to get back with her. He never really gave much assurance to Alexis really throughout the season on potentially being with her afterwards. It really just seemed like, okay, like I have this thing going with her and we're doing lots of physical things and having fun, but it didn't really seem like he took his relationship with Alexis seriously at all. So I think when we got to the point of this in the episode, and I think we even got a sense that he wanted to be back with her, like when Erica basically was like, I'm leaving by myself, he was responding, saying things like, are you sure? Like, you don't want this to maybe work ever? And he just seemed like he couldn't let go. And she was just kind of like, bye, Kendall. Like, we're not doing this anymore. Like, I'm not going to be with you. And just the look on his face was like, he was just shocked and surprised that she would say this. And she took this firm stance that she was leaving. And so then he was kind of like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to try something new. And I guess I'll leave the island with Alexis. Plan B. And that's, I think, what I kind of been saying the last couple episodes, that I feel like a lot of the guys, especially, they seem like they're just like, well, I'm going to plan to get back with my girl. But if it doesn't work out and she doesn't want to get back with me, then I'll probably go to my plan B so I don't leave alone. Because people like comfort and they didn't want to be single and they came there with relationships. So they probably want to leave with one.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate that Alexis didn't get that straight up that she was a plan B. And I think we saw a lot of her reaction within the reunion. But Josie, how did you feel about Kendall doing this, picking Alexis as his second option?
Isaiah saw my live tweets. Let me preface by saying that I get that these are real human beings, but wow, they're just like, Kendall's just literal trash. Like, no shade, but all shade. It's just frustrating. Like, I didn't really like Alexis or the way she said certain things to Erica during the reunion, but I do understand that she's a human being and she's a woman and she has feelings, and I feel like it's a very frustrating as a viewer to see her walk in and think, oh, he picked me, he chose me, that like he wants this, he wants to pursue it, knowing in reality as a viewer that it's not at all true. And so it's very frustrating to watch that. And as a woman, I felt for her because she loves this man. Obviously, we know because of the reunion what happens or what transpires. Well, not really. But it was just very frustrating. And Kendall showed no growth whatsoever throughout that whole thing. He was just like, vacation's over, let's like get back together. I don't think he worked on himself at all. And it was clear as day the way he was like gaslighting her and being condescending. I was just like, oh my God, please, let's get to the next couple. So
yeah, I think the only thing I have to add, which is why I think something's fishy with Erica and Kendall, is like she keeps saying she loves him, and she just keeps looking at him. So this was more at the reunion, but every time like they were chatting, people were talking around them, you could see Erica was just staring at Kendall like that. So I don't know, something's fishy for sure with Erica and Kendall, and I agree that I wish, again, we heard Kendall first just for him to get owned. But I'm surprised production and Mark didn't take that kind of diss, Josie, what you were saying. Because to me, like, why wouldn't Mark be like, hey, Kendall, you want to tell Alexis, I almost said Erica, what happened and why, like how this happened? Because to me, because he was dragging Corey not so long ago about being like, you're going to leave here and go back to being the same old boring guy. Why wouldn't he do that for Kendall? It would have been great TV, another missed opportunity. And I just didn't like Erica just kept saying like, I love you. And she basically nothing she was saying was in past, even in the reunion. It was all I love you. Like I not loved or like, anyway, she said a few things and they were all present tense, which just my tin foil hat like is just like saying something's not right.
Yeah. So my response to the Mark thing is I feel like maybe Mark was kind of in a position where he's like, it's not my place to tell, it's Kendall's place to tell. And so even though I think that Mark maybe should have said something, I think he's also like, I don't want to like infringe upon like this potential relationship. And I think Mark was probably also thinking in his head, this is probably going to be great content for the reunion because she's probably going to find out by watching some of the episodes that the relationship that they had wasn't really genuine and like Kendall didn't really take it seriously, like the process. So I think for him, he was kind of like, okay, well, you know, Kendall will leave with Alexis probably. It looks like that's going to happen, but it's not gonna turn out well, and we'll have good content for the reunion. And then I think to address the Erica thing, yeah, I think that's something that I noticed a lot of too. I think she's probably dealing with such a difficulty because I think she does still love him and care for him, but I think she also knows the pressure that she probably has from people who watch, the viewers, in terms of what she does and what her decision is. So I think maybe part of the reason that she didn't take Kendall back on TV, and even we see in the reunion, she kind of affirms that. I think part of that is really because she just doesn't want to look bad to people. And so I think she probably still has strong feelings for Kendall. And if she weren't in this experience, maybe she would have, you know, continue to be with him. I think it might just be a challenging thing for her to balance because she's like, yeah, he did all these things, but I still love him. And I guess if this was 5-6 months ago and they had a long-term relationship, maybe she hasn't really, you know, I think it's tough to watch it all back and to see that he had sex with multiple women in this sort of situation. So I think it's probably just an emotional thing that she's dealing with and struggling with.
Yeah, could be. For sure.
Okay, so yeah, Erica goes single, and Kendall leaves with Alexis. So there you go. So we're gonna go to the next one, which was honestly probably the most controversial one. This was in this you know, we'll get into it. It's Tom and Chelsea and who. So basically, they go. And I'm sure Geneva will go into detail in the field, but they basically go on a huge rant fest and a lot of victim blaming. It's a lot of you did this first, no, you did this first. He said, she said. When in reality, they both cheated, and they both are. They should have just went their separate ways, but they didn't. You know, you have Tom opening up saying, "Oh, you cheated, da 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 da," and that's why I did what I did. And then you have Chelsea like, "Actually, I did this because you did this first," and da 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 da. So it's a lot of victim blaming, and you know, ultimately they both leave together. It came out of nowhere because this was not a pleasant conversation at all. Lots of tears. It was very negative. It seemed like they hated each other, and then out of nowhere they're just like, "I do love you, though. We're let's get this." Like, what? I was very confused by that. But Geneva, did you want to quickly touch upon some of the details that were specifically said?
So just to give a few extra details in terms of some stuff that Tom was saying, he said that when he came here, he really wanted to prove that like Chelsea could trust him, and that the flirtatious, outgoing side of him is something she didn't need to worry about. And then he kind of touched on kind of what I said, like saying, "Oh, you broke the rules. I trusted you more than I trusted myself. I was more worried about me than you. But then I saw what you were doing, and when I got your video message, it was devoid of all this emotion. And so then I basically did what I did. And I saw you be unfaithful, and that kind of changed my intention for why I was here." And then Chelsea was like, "I didn't want to come here. You know, all I could worry about was what you wanted to do. I never in my wildest dreams thought I would have a connection." And then she formed her connection with Blake. She thought that she would be sitting in the corner, you know, crying and stuff. And then she started talking about how he smacked, you know, Sophia's butt and rubbed it and stuff like that, and how that made her feel weird. And that's kind of why she decided to explore her relationship with Blake and see where it would go. She also tried to emphasize that, like, you know, she felt like she had like a genuine connection with him, which is why she really wanted to explore it. If she didn't feel like she had that, she wouldn't have kissed Blake or done anything of that sort with Blake. And so they just kind of, were at it bat and forth. And then it was just, and then even Chelsea did a motion of slapping the butt. I don't know. There was a lot of interesting things going on there, but that's where I was kind of like, how did we get to this point? But I'm thinking that maybe for them, they're like, I don't, I feel comfortable enough in this relationship. We're kind of older. She realized that what she had with Blake wasn't really ideal for her. And she thought he wasn't genuine. And I guess at the end of the day, I mean, even though he did, Thomas, what he did, I think is still inappropriate if you are in a relationship. I think she probably was like, well, he didn't really cross the line until I crossed the line. I think that's probably what she was thinking in her head. And so they're like, okay, we'll try and work it out. I do think it's kind of weird, but it's kind of funny how she went into the situation thinking she's going to break up with him. And then after that conversation, somehow she was like, okay, I'm leaving with you. I love you. And then they went happily off into the, I guess, darkness. I was going to say sunset, but it was like dark. So
The moonlight.
yes, the moonlight. Thank you.
Yeah, it's just a whole bunch of excuses to me. Like, I think they maybe had this plan ahead of time and they were like, just don't do too much and we'll be fine. And like, we're there for clout because it just, 1 and 2 was not adding up and something shady. Why am I like the conspiracy theorist today? But
no, it's fine. I think it's reasonable to think that they probably were there for clout because it's like after all of that, how would they want to get back together and make it be so easy? So maybe this was a whole play.
And Thomas, like, you're all talk, okay? Like, he's over here, I would never forgive. You can never come back from this. Blah, 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 blah. Like, this is, a one-time, like, never coming back. All these, like, grand gestures of, like, hurt and cry. And for what? For what? Just for y'all to be together. BS.
I think they did it for clout. I really think Corey and Aaron did it for clout, but I mean, I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, they're just both fools. That's mean. They're just both like, it was really fake. Like I just get fake vibes from both of them. I hope that them well. I hope their relationship's going well. I mean, they're still together, so if that means anything, they both. As especially as the oldest couple there, they really just need to grow up, I think. And that's all I have to say about that. So lastly, we're gonna what?
There's I'm gonna get on the conspiracy train with you, Sasha.
Go for it.
Because their arguments, if you watch the Reed clips back, like it just doesn't make any sense. She said the reason why they're here is because he's too overly flirty and she wants to see if she can test him to not do too much. Then he did more than too much. I mean, I don't know. I'm not just letting anyone touch my butt. That's just me. But, and it just didn't make any sense. They formed 2 strong relationships, 2 people waiting for them. They made it clear that they were waiting for them. They made it seem like they were both leaving with them. And I just found it really annoying. They were even arguing and she was like nagging him. I don't know if you saw that head movement that they like tweeted the actual account. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Why, like, all of the arguments as to why you were here don't correspond to your actions. Like, it makes no sense whatsoever that they're still together. And even then, they were arguing during the reunion. I was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, what is going on? Like, it's mind-boggling to me. After all of that performance, the moving of the head, the yelling, the tears, and the victim blaming, I'm like, all of that, you're still together? What? Like,
they're so similar that it brings them together and allows them to bond somehow. But I just feel like I think they're like comfortable enough, and they probably are like, we've invested already so much into this that I don't want to bother starting a new relationship. That's what it seems like too.
I mean, the best part for me was the crocodile tears from Chelsea, where she would like start crying and then like no tears came out. The eyes were perfectly fine. And I was like, all right, maybe I'm just over exaggerating. And then you go on Twitter and then you see the other singles who were actually on this season. They were like, oh, she is fake crying. I was like, ooh. Like I think it was Jesse and Amanda and all the singles were like,
and
these are fake
Sophia.
tears.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not just an us thing. The cast obviously saw. If it's not fake, they saw like Chelsea is a fake person, and Tom is a fake person, and they gave off the vibes not only on screen but in person. So, I feel vindicated. I feel fine. I felt like I was going too hard this entire season, but I feel good now. I'm
You're
okay.
Yeah.
No,
I don't
you were
regret
justified
anything.
to, like we say, we're anything but silent here at
Yeah.
Silent Podcast. So
Take that person who quoted me a couple episodes ago and attacked me.
Tom or Chelsea's burner, you mean?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Okay, let's not.
So, lastly, in the finale, we get let's just be honest, this is the proposal that everyone was looking forward to. Everyone knew Kristen and Julian were going to be together. Kristen didn't approach anyone. Julian didn't approach anyone. They were 100% loyal the whole time. They honestly were playing like a whole different game from everyone. Like it wasn't really Temptation Island. It was more work on yourself island for them. And that's not bad. They did their thing. They did the do and proposed. They had their emotional thing. Like we can talk about it, but like everything that was said, like I kind of expected it. Like Julian spoke with his heart. And Kristen came out telling why she was really like feeling weird about their relationship and why they didn't go into the proposal and everything. But we got what we wanted as a fan base, and honestly, the way they ended this episode saved the finale for me, because I was about to leave this like I hate everyone here. I was really about to say that, and then like I was like, okay, I'm glad I watched now.
But I predicted they put it at the end because
I thought it'd
end with the storybook. We have to end with the storybook.
Yeah. Because oh my gosh, those other couples are horrible. Like
and dragging. Like I feel like such a heartless person, but even Kristen and Julian, I was like, cute. You just should have gone to therapy and you would save yourself so many tears and you would have probably been married by now if you just went to therapy. But instead you did it for clout, which is, again, I don't actually care because I like them both. They're not bad people, so maybe they're recruited or whatever, but I don't, to me it's just silly, but I like the proposal. I thought that part was sweet. I'm sucker for like that kind of stuff. I just thought them talking was just like cool.
Todd. So look, Sasha. So you're stop it. I see you. So look. I got attacked by someone before I came in here, so they're still in my mind. But anyway, so Sasha, you as a all right. So Sasha, you are you good?
We're back. It falls all the time. It's fine.
So you, as the only married person here, right? So if you had a USA recruiter, right, coming into your email, like, look, we're looking for couples to come on the show. You don't have to really have problems, but we'll give you a fat check if you come on here. Would you take the opportunity? Would you fake like some arguments and stuff?
My husband would leave me. Like, actually, I said this to him yesterday. So usually I watch Temptation Island during the day, but I just didn't have time, so I watched it last night, and my husband was watching with me, and he's like, so these two got engaged after being on an island with other people. Like, how does this work? So I'm trying to explain to him, and then I started making jokes like, oh, I'm gonna apply for the next season. Like, what do you mean? We're going on, as a joke. And he was like, it's not even funny. Like, he legit got mad at me. So if I want a divorce, I would go on the show. Basically, no other reason.
But I guess in that case, you would just go on the big divorce, which is coming out soon.
Exactly.
Yes.
Geneva, would you ever go on Temptation Island for a check for the money? You don't really need to leave with anyone. Just get the money. They throw you with another actor. You guys pretend to be in a relationship. And
Oh,
then,
I would do that.
Oh, well, maybe. I don't know. Why not? But
How about you?
but it's just like I don't know. I just it's like I like watching the show, but I just can't see myself ever being on the show.
Look, you get.
And I would
free,
never be a real relationship there.
You get to swim with dolphins. Like you get to.
I can't swim, so here you are.
Okay.
But I guess I could go do that. Like I could just go plan a vacation and do that.
Okay.
I am planning a vacation to do that. No, I'm just kidding. But also, would you,
Isaiah?
Josie needs to answer, but
there's
Isaiah
no
also.
Mark Wahlberg on your vacation though.
Thank God. I'll get a real therapist. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So how about you, Josie, and how about you, Isaiah?
Yeah.
Would you go on?
Absolutely not. No. That Temptation Island is not like an actor and stuff. I feel like that'd be too deceitful for me as a person to just go on there and pretend to be in love with someone and we have relationship issues and now I'm going on the island. Like I just feel like that's too much scheming for me. I don't really care for the clout, to be honest. I can live my life without clout. So no, not this reality TV show at least.
That makes sense.
Well, first of all, if I'm in the relationship, you have to be one of the couples. No, if I had to be the single and I was like years later and like I have my shit together, then like yeah, I'll be like yeah, I would definitely go because that's easy money. Look, you don't have to actually do anything. You could be
that's
like one
true.
of those
there are people who are just hanging there.
You feel me? Like let's get drunk tonight. Like
no, but they're not getting any money. No, because you.
I swear they get money.
They're not getting
not
enough
to go on.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
unless you're thinking about the return afterwards when you get the Instagram followers, and then you could start.
That's where I said if I have my life together, where I'm financially secure, and I just have nothing to do. You know, look.
Okay.
As someone that I don't have my life together, probably not financially secure, but I'm 30. Yeah, but I'm 30. So I will be. If I was just out of college and this were given to me, I would 100% find someone in college that was a situationship, and I'd be like, listen, let's figure it out. Why not? And I think I could do it. And I think I could find someone and I would totally go on. I don't care. What do I have to lose if I were, I think, 21, 22? But so for me, actually, it's opposite of Isaiah.
So what does that mean about Chelsea and Tom then?
Tom is too grown to be acting the way he was. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. He was acting.
But that's also why I'm happy Sophia was not with him.
Oh, yeah.
She just needs to find another guy and maybe a guy within, around her age. Yeah.
Wait, what was the age gap? I literally never pay attention to their
about
age.
15 years.
Oh. Yeah. we got,
Yeah.
Wow. So there you go.
So to those who have that age gap who are watching, that if you are comfortable with that, then that's great. I just personally, I couldn't foresee myself with someone.
The issue is that he was that old, acting like a child. That was the issue.
He was not a mature 37-year-old.
But there you have it. So we're going to the reunion portion. Now, what?
I just clicked in my head that Sophia is 22 and like he's 30. That's why I was like. Sorry.
So we get to the reunion. So first of all, Julian and Kristen didn't show up. That was so smart. They stayed home. They still get paid. They still get the clout. I would have did the same thing. I would not have shown up. The rest of them show up. The only other person who was important-ish that didn't show up was Blake. I don't know why. I don't think
I'm so mad.
I'm sad Tula wasn't there.
Tula. No, Tula didn't need to be there, unfortunately.
Yeah. But I don't know. I found her more important to the process than Maya, especially like towards the end.
Tula should have hosted, if anything. Like that, she would have been good on that. But
I feel like they put more significance on Maya when I feel like Julian kind of like was like after Chicken Gate. No, so it was kind of weird.
When I'm talking about the reunion, I actually don't feel the need to go into details because it was so messy and all over the place. But so what? I was shocked that they started with the Kendall segment, but they did.
Yes, because it was boring. It was so boring.
Yeah.
And what for me, it wasn't boring because I was glad he was getting called out by everyone. That was entertaining to me.
I don't think he was going to
Now,
call out.
Yeah.
how did you feel about his small, like, human moment from Mark? Like it seemed like Mark had a lot more sympathy for Kendall than he did for Corey. I noticed
That's
that.
what I'm saying,
Yeah,
guys.
that
Come
was a little
on. Yeah.
interesting. That was
Well,
very
because he
interesting.
warned Corey. He warned Corey about certain stuff, and Corey didn't listen. So he's like, Corey, I don't know what to tell you. So that's probably what that was about.
I
Also,
think
we just found out Corey, like he like even though he brought like no entertainment this season, Corey brought the drama to the
Yes,
reunion.
100%.
This man had been lying
an
up
assassin.
until the day before, going on the reunion to Aaron about what he did with Amanda.
He's
and
a
then he's like,
savage.
"Oh, now I'll tell you because we're gonna talk about it and it's gonna be exposed."
Well, I'm just like, I see Mark, and I remember what he did with KP last season when he called him out for the cheating. Well, for how he treated girls and stuff. And he called him out, and like he really like made him look like an idiot. But then you see Kendall, and like he gave Kendall a lot of sympathy, and then he went in on Corey. It's just like,
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
feel like Kendall was just allowed to kind of say whatever he wanted.
Yeah.
And because again, like the whole, especially him and Nicole thing, he was like, "Oh, you developed another connection." Shut up. It was not a connection.
Yeah.
Like
It
absolutely
was a
not. It was
hookup.
lust, and that is
Yeah.
it. And I just can't, yeah, to me, I just don't understand how Kendall wasn't dragged more. Like to be like, you violated people and you played Alexis. I think Alexis was doing the dragging where she was like, we hung out once, then I ghosted him, which I loved. Yeah, as she should. But I appreciate, Geneva, I'll give you this point. Yeah, that maybe they wanted to wait until the reunion because it'd be a bigger deal. But I just feel like they, again, didn't harp on it enough where they were like, Alexis, how do you feel? Or I felt like there were more questions that could have been asked about to Kendall, and Erica. Like her and Jesse, I felt like wasn't really explored. Like, even after the show, like what happened? Like blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then like, and then
Sophia.
Nicole and what was it?
Kendall.
Oh my God, Nicole and Kendall.
Yeah.
Did he hit you up for a booty call? Like to me,
yeah.
where are those questions? That's so weird to me.
They usually ask those too, so I was very shocked.
I don't know. Maybe they were just distracted by all that was going on. I only think that he tried, like Mark really tried to defend Kendall because when you think about it, even though Kendall just did awful things, and Kendall is my least favorite person on this entire cast. You think about it, it's like you have people, you have Alexis like reprimanding Kendall, you have Nicole reprimanding Kendall, you have Erica reprimanding Kendall, you have Jesse, like literally all these people, So like Mark probably felt I need to give some sort of support to him here. Because literally even though it could have been worse, like I think he felt like I can't just let Kendall be beat up on for 10 to 15 minutes, even though as great as that is for TV. And it is because his behavior was inexcusable towards the women and everybody on the show. Oh yeah, and then I think the one thing that he was basically saying, oh yeah, there's that drama between, I think it was like Jesse and Kendall about what's it called? He was basically saying like Jesse was essentially like like using Erica and had all ulterior motives and stuff, and I'm like, this is such a I was like, this is such a lie because literally Jesse was the most respectful cast member of this entire show. Multiple times he would say, I'm not putting any pressure on you. I'm gonna wait till after this process. If you want to pursue something, we can afterwards. He was always like afterwards, because I don't want to force you to do something you don't want to do or not ready for, Erica. And so I'm just like, Kendall just doesn't know anything. So I was just really annoyed with that whole situation.
Yeah. I would say, I think maybe if Mark was dragging, then other people wouldn't have to drag, right? Like to me, if a host is asking all the right questions, right? Like, hey, Alexis, how do you feel about this? Oh, why did you ghost him? What happened? Hey, Jesse, like Kendall's saying all of this. Like, what is your thought process? Like step in, be a part of it. And then I think the cast wouldn't have to do it as much because to me, and again, like because these things weren't getting brought up, I'm assuming the cast had to bring it up.
It's so frustrating because I feel like no one was really holding him accountable. unfortunately. And it was just so annoying because in the beginning, even when I started watching, I'm like, these two girls are about to gang up on Kendall. It's over. Like, we're about to eat our food. And they start going at each other. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And so I even live tweeted it in the Temptation Island account, like the tweet. I was like, why are they arguing with each other? Like, Kendall's the issue. Like, what are you doing? Like, why is this?
Yeah.
Why are we arguing amongst ourselves? And he'd then do both of you dirty. And it was just weird. Alexis was like defending Kendall in some sort of way because she was low-key defending herself, but I digress. And it's just like, it was very frustrating to see Erica like go after Alexis when she's the single. Yeah. And I found it frustrating from Alexis to not like, obviously she did hold Kendall more accountable, but when it came to Erica, it was just like all bets are off. Like it was just weird to me. I didn't see the purpose in that at all. Kendall is a man of little words. Every 5 seconds, it is what it is. Like who, like no accountability, no pressure, no self-realization. Like it was just so frustrating to watch. Drag Jesse into it to make him to justify anything. He's like, well, you guys kissed on the last. Who cares? You didn't sleep with three times.
2.
I don't know the math with the threesome, but I'm just saying, like, it doesn't make any sense to me for you to do XYZ, talk about moving to LA, and then on the reunion, still gaslight Erica for doing a genuine connection after you've broken the trust several times. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I just think overall hypocrite.
The one thing I remembered that I think that kind of bothered me about Kendall too is like when he was basically asked about like, you know, like, how did you feel about the stuff that was happening between Jesse and Erica? And he's just like, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm just like, can you express yourself? I
really think he just came there because he's under contract and he had to come there.
Yep.
Like I don't think anyone will want to be there after. I'm sure he probably got attacked on Twitter, Instagram, all that. I'm sure.
Well, that's why I'm thinking. That's why I think there was also not a huge pressure to attack him because he's been attacked.
I'm sure he heard everything and he's just like he said his piece and then he was just ready to get out. Like straight up, I think that's all it was. I think if he had the option not to come, he for sure wouldn't have come. But they were probably like, if you don't come, you don't get paid. So yeah.
I hated during the break. He was like, I guess today is attack Aaron Kendall day.
And
like, what? Like you?
And who was attacking Aaron? I still didn't understand that part, but
it was like I guess like Amanda and some I don't know.
Oh, I guess.
Oh, I mean, I want to talk about that too. The Corey and Aaron segment was very weird because you know Corey came off very slimy and I think what really bothered me though wasn't really Aaron or Corey because we all expected that not to work out. I mean, allegedly they're still dating or whatever, but like I can see problems there forever. It was really so Shaq heard from Amanda that Amanda and Corey did things allegedly, but Amanda says she didn't. And then Shaq, for some reason, instigated. And it's funny because some of the singles were tweeting, oh, Shaq only, I think it was Sophia, Shaq only did this because he was trying to get back with Aaron. So Shaq was really being a snitch the second time this season. He was instigating something to try to get with Aaron. It's like, she don't want you, bro. But he keeps like inserting him in this relationship for some reason. And Aaron, it could be a whole lie or it could be true. We don't know. But
I believe Shaq. I'm embarrassed that I do.
I don't know.
No, you know what? I actually don't. I don't disagree with him. I think it's possible. But I think it's possible. Why did Corey not say anything?
Exactly.
They did something. Of course they did something. But I'm also saying.
But that's what I'm saying. I think it might be something in between. I don't think. I don't think they did nothing, and I don't necessarily think that they did what supposedly Shaq was saying. But I think the fact that like Corey didn't say much, especially after lying this whole time and not telling Aaron things, I think that is quite telling. I think there might be some truth, but I think also he's bending the truth.
I think Corey's a liar. I think Shaq is weird and an instigator. I think Aaron does the most. And honestly, I don't have a problem with Amanda at all. Actually, now that I look back, like I thought, I mean, that's not
Oh,
me.
I do have. Oh,
She didn't get on
yeah.
my nerves at least. I don't know.
Before Amanda even showed up, I forgot about this part. I want to point out, which is why I decided I don't like Corey. So they started talking about Shaq, right? And like why did Aaron let go of Shaq, right? That was the first piece. And that is so shady because Aaron said I liked him, so I wanted to eliminate him. Fine, I think we all knew that part, but glad it goes called out. But then the shady snake, Corey, said, no, you should have kept Shaq around because we're similar and he could have helped you grow. First of all, so everyone in this world knows you used Amanda, and now you're telling your Aaron to use Shaq. Like, he's so shisty for this, and it just bothers me because it's like, you literally used Amanda like as your free therapist, and you're telling Aaron, "Oh, why didn't you use another guy to be your therapist?" Like, it's so gross, and like everything about Corey is trash. Like, he comes off as like this vanilla, boring guy, but he's actually like pretty manipulative.
Shaq had incentive to lie, where Amanda did not, from what I can tell.
Okay,
I feel like I could argue she could. I mean, I just feel like she could have an argument because literally, Corey was basically saying, "Well, if I wasn't with Aaron, I'd be with Amanda." So I feel like Amanda could have a justification to lie if she wanted to lie.
And they're still talking.
So she probably also doesn't want to air out stuff publicly on national television. I think that's also something to consider too. Maybe they did something, but she might just be saying, "Oh, we didn't do anything," because she's like, "Let's keep that between me and Corey."
I definitely think she's. Go ahead.
I got it. You got it.
I was gonna say, I definitely think the stories weren't matching up because when it was just Aaron and Corey, she's like, you were still lying to me. And Corey goes, yeah, I did lie. And then she talked about screenshots. Like, there's 3 cases where Corey did say that it's the truth. And then Aaron asked Amanda at some point, she goes, what is your definition of hooking up? Because Corey literally had said at some point, yes, we did do those things. I'm sorry for lying to you. I shouldn't have lied. That's why, to me, when Amanda was going off on Shaq about this is not true and stuff, I'm like, someone just said earlier that there were screenshots, and you're talking about exchanges that y'all had about saying that she didn't full out say that they did something in particular, but she said that he's not as innocent as he seems and all that stuff. Like, I feel like all of Corey literally backed it up, and then Amanda backtracked, and it just looked chaotic. And I just feel like, while it might seem that Shaq might have a reason to lie, I believe him. Like, I genuinely believe him because, like, they're just
and Mark, hello, why aren't you digging into this? What the heck?
I believe that they both told the truth. I think that, like you guys said, I think something happened. I just don't think it happened at the extent that Shaq said it, because we've seen them do it. So I think Amanda did tell Shaq something, and then he probably just like blew it out of proportion.
Oh, of course.
And then I think that Amanda is lying just to not look bad. Corey is just staying silent. And honestly, I think Aaron is doing the most. Even though it's welcome, but it's like, it's just like, I don't know. Overall, like I've been saying this whole time, I don't care for a lot of these people. So I'm not taking anyone's side. There's just like a lot of like sliminess during that segment that I wasn't expecting. It's like they had the least eventful finale segment, or honestly the least eventful couple out of the entire season. And it's like I can't care more for this because it's like they're also still together. If you saw Corey's tweet, they're still going strong or whatever. So it's just like,
so I guess she didn't really walk away. Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't care. At the end of the day. Oh, sorry, not tweeted. He made an IG post.
Instagram post.
Yeah.
But it's just like, okay, like all around, those two are annoying. Amanda's capping. Shaq is an instigator. Goodbye. Like I don't care about those people anymore, honestly. That's just me. Sorry to be harsh. So lastly, well, I mean, we had the Kristen and Julian segment, but honestly, we saw everything we needed to see with them. But the last one was really between what was
Thomas and
Thomas and
Chelsea.
Chelsea, and they're still together. I will say I was very shocked at the lack of Sophia content here because she was a big part of the season, I think.
Again, just a mess with hosting. Like time management was awful.
She tweeted, she was like, some things are better left unsaid. So I don't know what happened over there. But I'm assuming they probably hooked up or something. But that, this is the assumption. I don't know. How did you guys feel about Tom and Chelsea's reunion segment?
The Blake clip was so random, and you could see he was filming it in his office. Like I was just like, this is so strange. I mean, in a sense, I was surprised he wasn't there. But I guess he has a life. He's doing his stuff. So
under contract, Blake was like, I need to get this paycheck somehow.
So he's like, I don't know.
It's not even that. I also find it weird because Blake is actually attended viewing parties, so he's very obviously invested in the show. So I think he didn't want to get dragged, which is why he didn't come.
Yeah,
probably smart.
I mean, who was the other person involved? Was there anyone else involved?
Tommy.
Oh, yeah, he got more talk.
Who's that? Yeah, I didn't even know how he came.
The Italian dude.
So Tommy was the other guy that Chelsea was kind of dating-ish, but I think that's really just because Dr. Blake wasn't there. They're like, okay, well, we want to have someone to be on the opposite of Sophia, so we're gonna have Tommy here. So I think that's probably literally why they're like, okay, we're just gonna, put him in here. So, but it seemed like there was a lot of disagreement on, I guess, what the relationship was like between Chelsea and
the cameras don't show everything. Last season we saw that there was like hookups that weren't on the show that we had no idea about, and he insinuated that it was a lot more flirty than she made it seem. So I don't know, but Josie, what are your thoughts?
I'm really irritated that Sophia, like, I remember watching it and then they cued like the clapping and stuff and the camera leaving, and I was like, wait, did Sophia even talk? Like, I feel like there were so many things invested with her in particular. Like, Tommy was like maybe 1-2 episodes. He had that one line in the beginning, Tommy hands. That's literally all I remember him for. So like, I just find it a bit irritating that Sophia didn't get to speak, especially since I feel like there was clearly emotions involved from her part. You could tell from like their first kiss that was like a big deal for her. So it was just very frustrating to sit there. And I was like, what is going on? There was that dynamics from like the bonfire in the finale going back there again. I was like, they're a little bit like they're bickering a bit, but then they're like, we're happily in love. And I'm like, this makes no sense. Your actions, your words are not lining up. To be honest, I was just over it. Like, after the Aaron and Corey segment, I think my energy was just drained at that point, and I was over it. So,
Well,
what did you find out?
Real quick, just to say, so going on Twitter, a lot of the singles are upset with the way that they were portrayed on the reunion. And let's see. So it looks like Nicole and Amanda had an IG session today saying their side, and so did Sophia on her own time. So I'm gonna have to go look at that later. But yeah, apparently a lot of stuff wasn't shown, and they are going to speak their truth. So I mean, there you go.
Yeah, and I think that's the issue with, I think, reunion shows is like a lot of reunions shoot for several hours, sometimes full days depending on the show. And so like it's unfortunate when you only really get to see 40 something minutes of that, because if you include the commercials, and that's the hour. And yeah, the only thing I really recall Sophia really mentioning was she was basically saying that Thomas didn't really cross the line. I mean, they kissed, but it didn't really happen until after Chelsea basically kissed Blake. Yeah. So, but aside from that, it was just like I was very confused too on how Tommy had a bit more prevalence in this segment than Sophia.
No, it's just mismanaged. I don't know if it's that production was just over it and they were just like, let's just finish. We need to, end this like not the best season, or like whoever wrote the questions for Mark for whatever, like we just didn't watch the season. Like for Big Brother, we'll say hosts don't watch live feeds. It was something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was gonna say, I think the reunion should have had 2 parts, and the finale should have been 1 part. Like it should have been one thing.
Yeah.
They could have had all 4 singles. We didn't need the like stock videos of them writing in their diaries or whatever it was, or their journals, for lack of a better word. Like, it was so missed opportunities. Who was that guy who was fighting with Aaron? That tall guy. He's like light skin, whatever his name may be. Where he called Aaron out.
Oh, the guy that got eliminated.
The champagne on the table.
Yeah.
That guy. He showed up at the reunion. He was getting so many he was getting highlighted on Instagram a lot. I was like, this guy wasn't even there. I saw him for like a brief 0.5 second during the show. Obviously, there's so many things that happen. I'm sure that was addressed. I'm sure like a lot
they
of
probably had a segment.
And they didn't air it. Like, I feel like that's such a waste. Like, you want to make your Money USA network, make a 2-part reunion. I'll sit through another part of a reunion if you give us the actual tea. It was just
it's not like they couldn't do it, because right after the reunion they showed the finale again. So I'm like, you had the slot.
Oh my god,
yeah.
You could have did it.
I tuned out.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
Well, like, you watch other shows, like a lot of the Real Housewives franchises now do 3-part reunions, and they drag it on for almost
90 Day
month.
Fiance did a 2-part reunion, and I will say the first part was much better than the second, but either way, like, it was still content, like good-ish content. So I agree. I think they really messed up with splitting up the couples twice, and instead should have done a 2-part reunion. But to me, the reunion felt like they just no one wanted to be there. And like, that was kind of it.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, now think about it. Are You the One does a 2-part reunion too?
Most people do now. Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, that was most of the highlighting. I mean, I think the only funny thing that we didn't talk about was Aaron screaming at Corey before they started going back live about how you embarrassed me again. You said you wouldn't do. Like, ooh.
You let me fall on the sword for the final time, and I'm like, what? Okay.
Basically, it looks like he makes her the bad guy, and like, this is interesting because as someone that is like the strong person in the relationship, usually not currently, but before, when I was in college, I remember that I definitely used to be like, oh, I'm the bad guy all the time when I'm just louder than you, but you're over here like doing the dirt all the time, but I'm just louder. So I end up looking like the jerk. So I really felt for Aaron in that moment, because I was like, yeah, it's obvious he's out here doing what God knows what, but that's
what I'm saying. Why did we not see some of this personality of Corey on the show? Like, this would have been for captivating television, but he's only bringing the drama here at the reunion. So I don't know. That was a little disappointing, but at least he brought it this episode.
Well, I mean, that's season 3 of Temptation Island. We finally finished our coverage. So I mean, I guess you can just close it out with saying, what is your season ranking of season 3? Because I personally put it 5.5. I was gonna put it a lot lower, but I think honestly, the proposal is what saved the final for me, because I was so over the season like 3 episodes ago. I was done. I was like, I'm done with this show, and I kept watching. But like, all right, like there was some saving grace. I just didn't like a lot of this cast compared to last season. Like, this cast, there's at least some likable people. Last time there was just so many unlikable figures here. For me personally, like, I like Sophia though. I liked her, and I liked Erica, but everyone else just kind of got on my nerves. Jesse was fine too, actually. Now that I think about it, Jesse was cool. Yeah, but let's see, Geneva.
But
What's
what
your
happened between Jesse? Like, hello, oh my god.
Well, my guess is nothing,
Yeah.
and that's why they probably didn't address it. That's honestly my guess, and they probably were like, "Well, we're not gonna bother pursuing this story because it's just gonna." I think it's really just because Erica is still single, and so they just didn't even bother. But I'm still wondering, like, was there a group trip, a group vacation? If we've seen previously in previous silent podcasts, our recaps, Isaiah
Put
did
up the
show
picture.
put
Put
a
it up.
picture of Kendall and Erica at here at the same door. So
Does it, and
same haircut too. You see that?
does he have the
You know what?
mustache?
Look, I don't think it was no cast vacation because look, you saw that cast. They don't like him. Nobody likes Kendall. Like there was not no cast. They were seeing each other.
Well,
You
they live
saw
in
how
LA. They live in LA, right?
But this
Temecula is right in LA. Is what I'm. It's like very close to LA. Is my point. Since they both live in LA,
it could be I don't know. Who knows? It could have been a getaway between them. It could have been. I don't know. Who knows? I don't really know. I'm just coming up with theories. Okay.
No, that's fair.
That's
fair.
I think they're living together, if I'm being honest. And here's why. Okay, follow me through my conspiracy journey. So she posted this. I don't know. Whoa, it's inverted. I forgot. So she posted that. And then I went on Kendall's Instagram.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me go on Erica's tags because I do not remember this man's Instagram.
Please.
Oh my god.
In the meantime, Jet asked a question.
I was just about to bring that up too. Actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Sasha.
Yeah, saying some fans are, saying that the girls are therapists for the guys. Is that a condemnation of modern manhood? I don't know, Jet, if you want to hear this, but unfortunately, women have been performing emotional labor for years for men. So this is nothing new, unfortunately. If even it could be something as small as like, who remembers to order the toilet paper and who remembers to tell their partner to go grocery shopping. So women have actually been doing this for years, believe it or not. And I often find that in my relationship. So I had to do a little bit of teaching from my husband about emotional labor and the work, like all the work that women usually in heterosexual relationships have to do. Just wanted to say that.
But Kendall posted an IG live, and like if you look at the background, like the cityscape, it's literally has Erica's in her background. There's notably like a building, a blue building. Yeah, I was doing a lot. So I'm so sad.
One of my, I guess, follow-up theories is if this was shot 5-6 months ago. Keep in mind, this is also during the pandemic. So maybe in terms of timing, it's very easy for them to be in the same living space because it's hard to move kind of during COVID. So there might be a situation like that where it's like complex, but she's kind of like at this point where she's like, well, I don't want to be with him or tolerate that. So if they are together, maybe has a lot of work that he has to do to really get Erica to really want to be, with him. But I don't know. Who knows?
I mean, keep in mind also, we don't know when the reunion was shot. And we saw whenever that was shot, you saw Corey and Erica seem to be fine. So I would say Aaron seemed to be fine. So, I mean, we don't know. But yeah, I like that theory. Geneva, what are you ranking season 3 as a fellow Temptation Island watcher?
Yeah, so I would say that when I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about also in comparison to the other 2 seasons that I've seen. So I'd rate it a 6. I would say collectively, like the show was fine. At least we had a couple people who were slightly tempted. But I think in comparison to other seasons, we had a lot more loyal people, which is great because I think loyalty is very important in relationships. But I think in terms of the entertainment value of Temptation Island, it's probably not the most compelling thing to watch. I just think that overall, this cast in terms of the singles, I feel like a lot of them just felt like they were entitled to get the attention from the couples, and it's like that's not really what the show was about. It's really about the couples and the people in the couples and their process and their journey, and you're just there as part of it. And so you should not seriously think you're going to find love, because the probability is very low coming in as a single. And even past couples that I've known who have left together, they're not together anymore, or maybe got engaged but are not together anymore. But I would say I'd say 6, but I would say that, season 2 I think might have been my favorite, but I also really love season 1. So.
All right. How about you, Sasha?
Yeah, I don't watch the other ones, but I think
Other
compared to the reality schedule, yeah, I think it was pretty average. I'm happy. Like I love Julian, so I'm glad I got to see him. But outside of that, yeah, nothing great. So I would say yeah, I think about 6 for me.
All right. How about you, Josie?
Y'all are so nice. I'm thinking, but I'm like, should I change my answer?
No.
I mean, a 6 is a D, so I don't know if that's really that great of a
Be the
grade.
bad guy. Do it.
In retrospect, so.
Be the bad person.
I think on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving it a 3, just because the men in general, regardless if they were the singles or the couples, they were intolerable and annoying and disrespectful and dislikable. Most of them. That's why I like Jesse. And it's even some of the women who were in couples, at times I just found them dislikable, notably Aaron and Chelsea. I think it was a bit frustrating to feel like there was no growth shown. At least if you're gonna do this journey, I feel like pretend that there's growth, at least to make me that satisfied that side of things. I feel like half of these people did not even show remotely any growth. And I think one of the couples, like Jen said, could have easily gone to therapy and been engaged and probably married by now. Maybe July 24th, 2021 instead of 2022. So I just...
or 2016 even at this point.
Literally. They've been together for 11 years. I just, it's... And I just watched season 2. The thing is, I came in watching this season, binging, all of the episodes until episode maybe 3 episodes before the finale. So I watched season 2 and then I watched this, and it was just such a letdown. So I have to give it a 3. It was not my cup of tea, but I like reality TV, so I'll suffer through it.
Yeah, I was close to giving it a 3 or a 4 until the proposal. So you're not alone. Trust me. But there you go. That is coverage for season 3 of Temptation Island. Will we be back for next season? Probably. We'll see.
Oh, what did Abby say? Did we want to?
I mean, we didn't film anything, but I mean,
oh,
she had
okay, never mind.
Just look at her Twitter, and then you can see.
I thought you have any basic deets?
I mean, if you want to basically go and if you want to hear Abby's thing, so basically, she was crying a lot when the proposal happened. She likes Julian and Kristen. She thought Kendall is annoying like usual. She likes Erica still. Let's see. She also said that everything with the whole Shaq and Corey and all, they're all weirdos. Just like I said, they're all weirdos. She's agreeing with that. I need to use her exact words. So she used a lot of colorful language, but she was just basically basically you get the gist of it. And then the last one was what was the last couple? I'm so ready to put this out of my mind. The last couple was...
Is it Tom and Chelsea?
Yeah.
Yeah. She thinks that they're both childish as ever, and Sophia is a queen. But yeah. Like I said, if you want further words and specific words that she used, I'm telling you, it's a great read. Go look at it on her Twitter, Black Mist. But there you go. I mean, if you want to see more Abby content, she will be back for Love Island coverage. So she hit me up. She was like, I'm trying to talk about Love Island UK. Ooh. So there you go. But there you go. That's Abby. Josie, thanks for popping up like usual. We love having you over here. Where can people find you, Josie?
Instagram and Twitter are all the same. I post content there, so it's just the handle there. And yeah.
Okay. And then Geneva, where can people find you?
People can find me at Peace Love Jen on social media. On Twitter specifically, I tweet about reality TV, currently Big Brother Canada, The Circle US. I don't know, whatever other random shows that are on. I feel like I'm watching a different reality show every day. So that's basically my life, and I'm just tweeting about life. So you can follow me there for more content.
All right. And Sasha, how about you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at funsize_04, where just like everyone else, I tweet a lot about reality TV. So let's chat there.
All right, and like usual, you can find me at 8 Ball Bangers on Twitch and Instagram, Twitter, and all that fun stuff. Have a good time tweeting, ranting, and all that other stuff. But there you have it. This is the third show that's ever been finished. The first one was Sequester, and then Circle UK, and then now Temptation Island's done. So number 3 down. Please.
Woohoo!
Continue with following us on all of our socials. Like if you're watching on YouTube or Twitch, Silent Podcast like usual. And please go follow our new Twitter page, Silent_Podcast, where you can get updates on everything that we're doing and all that fun stuff. And subscribe, because every little bit helps. And follow on Twitch, because like I said, everything helps. And we appreciate all the support you guys are giving us. Tomorrow, Sarah, she's on vacation, but luckily, she decided to film her reactions to this week, so I will be uploading that tomorrow, as well as the DCOM podcast. We saw Ganjo and Esme with Carrie this week talking about some Disney movie, so that should be fun. And lastly, I'm not sure when you guys are going for the challenge. Are you guys talking about challenge this week?
Friday.
All right.
Friday.
So you can join those two for some challenge coverage, as well as me, Noah, Cheyenne, and oh my gosh, and Josh. This is our 10th week of talking about anime. So this week we're not talking about a series. We are ranking every single Shonen Jump series ever created. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So you can join us for that. But there you have it. And until next time, we will see you guys later. This is Temptation Island. Bye.